afternoon. We are now opening the present criminal case before this Honorable Criminal Court of the Republic of Costa Rica. The case is identified under file number 12356 and it involves this criminal accusation filed by the Republic Prosecutor's Office against Mr. José Luis Chaverri Morales, of legal age and Costa Rican nationality, for the alleged commission of three aggravated homicides as established in Article 102 of the Criminal Code. The objective of this oral public trial is to analyze with impartiality and in full respect of due process the facts presented by the parties, evaluate the evidence, and ultimately determine the legal responsibility or innocence of the accused. Both the prosecution and the defense have presented their versions of the facts along with their corresponding evidence and arguments. The prosecution has argued that Mr. Chaverri acted with premeditation and treachery, while the defense insists that the evidence is insufficient and unreliable and that accused must be acquitted.
Now, Prosecutor Liliam Corrales Gamboa can begin with appropriate arguments.
Honorable Judge of the Criminal Court, the Public Prosecutor Office appears before you to formalize file charges against Mr. Luis Morales Chaverri, an adult of Costa Rican nationality, for the alleged commission of three counts of aggravated homicide, as defined in Article 112, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code, to the determining of three individuals whose lives were taken through the use of a firearm or in a public area. The events took place on August of the current year at approximately 5 p.m. in the district of Corrales. The victim sustained multiple gunshots on several areas, including the thorax, head, and neck, which resulted in their immediate death. Circumstances clearly reflect premeditation and treachery, as the attack was planned, and carried out with deliberate intent to clear with a risk to the assailant. The testimonials in material evidence includes eyewitness statements identifying Mr. Chaverri Morales as the perpetrator on firing the shots. Surveillance cameras footage capturing the exact moment of the attack and the defendant's escape. Ballistic reports linking the seized weapon to the defendant. Forensic report confirming the cause of death. In the light of the above, the public prosecutor respectfully requests that is onward court classified the event as the three counts of unwary homicide committed with treachery and imposed to the maximum sentences of 35 years of each count. That's a honor.
Now, on the defense side, Jazheel, Sandi, Tenorio can begin with the due arguments.
We come before you to respectfully but firmly ask that this case be declared invalid, or if that's not possible, that a not guilty verdict be given in favor of Mr. Chavarri. We make this request because there is no clear or direct evidence that links him to the crime he is being accused of. This lack of evidence goes against basic rules of justice and due process. First, the only images presented by the prosecutor are low quality, blurry, and unclear. Because of this, they cannot be used as strong evidence to prove that the accused was at the crime scene. Using these types of images to try to convict someone will go against the legal rule that there must be certainty in criminal cases. This rule is protected by our Constitution and international agreements. Second, the witnesses presented by the public prosecutor are not reliable. Their identification of Mr. Charlie is based on personal opinions and guesses. These are not people who clearly saw or had direct contact with the person who committed the crime. Instead, there are people who were influenced by others or by what they talk, they say, and their words are not strong enough to prove guilt. In criminal law, the rule is that guilty must be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and that is not happening here. In addition, up to this point in the trial, there is no clear reason or motive to show why Mr. Chaveri would have taken part in this crime. While a motive is not always required, the complete lack of one here makes the accusation even weaker and supports the idea that Mr. Chaveri had nothing to do with that happened. Also, the murder weapon has not been found, and there is no expert of or scientific proof that Mr. Chowdhury had access to or used any weapon like the one used in the crime. This missing link between him and the weapon is a serious problem in the case. We told with the story the prosecutor is trying to tell does not make sense or match the facts. For all these reasons, it is clear that there is not enough evidence to continue this case properly, and certainly not enough to give a guilty verdict. Therefore, in the name of due process, fairness, and the perception of innocence, we ask to the court to cancel this trial, or if not, to declare Mr. Chowdhury not guilty, so that justice and the rule of law are respected.
At this point, and before using any ruling this court must pause and reflect. I ask that presiding judge will not take time to carefully analyze all the elements presented throughout this trial, including the testimonies, the experts, reports, and arguments from both parties, in order to reach a just, fair, and lawful decision. It is my duty to deliberately, without rushing, giving each piece of evidence the importance it deserves. The purpose of this court is not to satisfy one side, but to ensure that truth and justice prevail, fighting the framework of our Constitution and criminal legislation.
This criminal court, after complete and careful analysis of the evidence presented during this oral and public trial, proceeds to issue its final judgment in the case filed against Mr. José Luis Chaverri Morales of illegal age and Costa Rican nationality, who was accused by the Public Prosecutor's Office of the alleged commission of 3 counts of aggravated homicide as described in Article 112, subsection 1 of the Criminal Code. After evaluating the testimonial, documentary, expert, and material evidence provided by both the prosecution and the defense, the court must resolve the legal questions with objectivity, neutrality, and in strict adherence to the constitutional principles that govern our criminal justice system, particularly the presumption of innocence, the principle of dubio pro reo, and due process. Regarding the evidence, the prosecution has based its accusation primarily on eyewitness testimonies that allegedly identify Mr. Chaverri as the perpetrator. A low-quality surveillance video that captures the moment of the attack and the escape of a subject, a ballistic report, a forensic report confirming the causes of death. However, upon careful review, this court finds that the evidence submitted presents several serious weaknesses. The number one, the surveillance footage is of very poor quality with unclear visuals that don't allow for a reliable identification of the persons in the video. As such, it does not have enough evidentiary strength to confirm the accused's presence at the scene. Number two, the eyewitness statements lack consistency, were contradictory in key details, and appear to have been influenced by assumptions rather than direct and clear observation. No witness provided a solid first-hand account that points to Mr. Chaverri as the shooter. There is no direct conclusive evidence that links Mr. Chaverri to the weapon used in the crime. No fingerprints, no DNA, no eyewitness who saw him with the weapon. There is no proven motive. While motive is not required to prove guilt, the absence of any motive when combined with the weak evidence, strengthens the doubt regarding the accused's participation. The legal analysis, according to Article 39 of the Political Constitution, no person can be punished unless their criminal responsibility has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. In this case, that standard has not been met. Criminal law as applied in our democratic and constitutional state must favor liberty and not punishment when there is doubt. There is not only a legal duty, but a moral and ethical responsibility of this court, ruling in light of all the above and based on the principles of legality, due process, presumption of innocence, and the principle of in dubio pro reo. This court issues the following ruling: Mr. José Luis Chaverri Morales is hereby acquitted of all charges. There is no sufficient of credible evidence to declare him guilty of the crime he was accused of. Consequently, the court orders him immediate release if he is not being held for any other cause, and the closure of this case. This is the ruling of the criminal court and is so declared today in accordance with the law.